is it possible to learn Qi Gong using a book or watching some YouTube videos? And I personally have some doubts about this because I will tell you there are several things that we might lead to wrong perspective, and really we might get lost into the process of understanding and practicing these methods. The first one is that there's no need to invent the wheel if somebody else has done it before you. Some of these exercises have a very ancient technology behind. So sometimes even myself, if I think about this, how these exercises came about, how these people found out about the effectiveness of certain postures over other ones, it's truly a mystery for sure. It's a work of ages and intuition and putting things into practice and verifying things. So the first thing I would say is there is no reason why we should get lost and go blind into a path that is quite complicated also, because it's on something like a stone or something we can really take and see, and even though we don't know what it is, we call it stone, but whoever, well, we don't know much about things in reality. But anyway, certain things can be explored more easily. Other things that are more subtle and even require a certain degree of clarity and the ability of discerning between what it is real and what it's not. It might cause you to wander for many years or decades without really going anywhere, because you don't know where you're going. Maybe you read the book and you interpret the things written in the book, because this is one human issue that unfortunately communication is not a thing itself, in the sense that if I say stone, it's not the stone, it's a pointing towards the stone, so something that creates the image in our mind of the stone, but the word stone has nothing to do with the stone itself. This is a human creation. It's not an existential truth. In the same way, when we read all these spiritual books or books about Qi Gong, in this case, we might end up filling up our mind with lots of concepts and things, and we might start to create even a false sense of sensations and understanding of this thing, but in reality we don't. We are reading a book and trying to understand what the person who wrote the book is talking about, and we are creating an image most of the time, and this leads us totally into la 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 land in the sense that we don't know what's gonna be real. We don't know whether we're gonna progress or not. And so, just to make it short, I think there is no need to invent the wheel when somebody before you, I'm not talking just about one person, well, when there is a big lineage of people applying the same tool that has worked for them, why do we need to go on our own? I mean, it's easy in the sense that when you want to achieve certain goals, it's better to learn from somebody who's has achieved the results and who can make your life easier, and you can move faster. So instead of attempting things, we move faster and we get even better results out of this thing. So that's probably the first reason why I say that. That's of course my personal opinion, that learning Qigong from videos or books, it's just an open possibility for being misled, just in a place that is not able to ensure you a growth on that particular aspect. The second thing is that when we have a teacher, when we have somebody, an advanced practitioners who can help us verify our progress in the path, this is a very safe way of moving on in our journey, because it doesn't mean that that person is particularly special or whatever it is. It's just human being as everybody here around, but he has a particular experience about the path that he has already traced, so he's already walked, so he's able to tell you from distance whether you're taking the right route or not. On a practical level, by sharing your experiences with your teacher, you are able, first of all, to learn your own to create your own understanding, not create, but to have your own understanding about Qi in general. But also you have somebody who has just walked, let's say, 2 miles more than you, who can tell you from there, yes, this is a good sensation, a good something good that you are reporting, keep moving in that direction. Or in the other case, he could tell you, no, just, this thing that you say, it's a temporary thing, just don't focus too much on it, maybe it's just a one day interpretation. That's why it's very important to have a skeptical approach when we do these kind of things in general, because as I said before, if we take a stone, we can see it clearly, at least we can talk about it together. But when we talk about something that is more subtle and more related to another level of ourselves, it's not really easy to grasp where it is, and you can go somewhere else. So that could be the second reason why I say first, don't invent the wheel. Somebody else has done it for you. Just, put some practice and see if the technique is working. Second thing, having a teacher is the best way to make sure that when you move on, you're moving in the right direction and you can be helped. Because also, I would say probably would be a third point to mention that we're working with a level of reality that is not that straightforward at the beginning, because we are not sensitive to energy, to the vital energy at the beginning. But it doesn't mean that we cannot mess up with it in the sense that, in the same way that I don't see air, if I do this, I move air. And even though I'm not that aware of that, because, it looks like an empty space, but there are particles and things. What I'm trying to say is this: if we do the wrong exercises or we do something wrong in our practice, we might screw up certain aspects of ourselves. That's why it is important to have somebody that can help you to move safely in your journey, rather than, again, going blind. There is no need just to walk on your own when you can do it with someone else. For sure, I think this is a very important aspect, that we need to build our own knowledge about ourselves first of all, because when we talk about vital energy, we're talking about ourselves, this vehicle that we have here in all its form, of course, more dense and more subtle. But we need to make sure that even though we follow somebody, we I don't like this word, we manage to get our own understanding about the subject in a practical way, without a sort of dependency factor. It's like giving the tools to somebody to discover a piece of land, allow that person to walk, because not everybody moves in the same direction. Some people, maybe they go left, then go right, then they discover something, they move forward. So it's important that you do the work. You find out that there is no influence on your teacher's side about sensations and what you're going to understand about this exploration, because, as I said, one person might go first in one direction, then in another one, but it doesn't mean it's better or worse. It's just, a way of moving, and everybody's different. We have a different body, we have a different mind, a different stability in the emotion. So it's not just a one case, one straight line. But for sure, what it is important is that your teacher allows you to be objective about what you're doing. So you're not creating false understanding. It's just helping you to navigate through this process and picking the knowledge that makes sense for you. So you don't create a system of belief. Because what's the point? We're already talking about something that is not that straightforward. If we put belief on it, we're just gonna be not that objective about the subject. We're not gonna understand anything. We're just gonna create false ideas and illusions. So I think, just to recap, the best thing we can do, it's probably researching on the web and exploring the different teachers and methods and see what resonates with us, which is very important. I personally teach in a way that I want my students to be responsible and independent. I'm always available for support in WhatsApp and emails. They know this. They contact me many times. But I try to keep this kind of mature way of being, because Qi Gong is a way, at least for me, to to grow as human being, my totality, not just in the energetic aspect. Of course, more energy you have, more work you can perform, either on a physical, emotional, and mental level. But it's a way to grow as human being. So, if I can give you a suggestion, is be skeptical and investigate the teacher, the methods, the lineage. They work, they don't work, and then pick your own. At the end of the day, I wish you the best on this path. And if we want to explore more subtle and, let's say, dimensions of reality, it's very important that we start with the finite, with the things that we can see, that we build strong foundation like a tree, to then grow and explore other dimensions. Otherwise, we might fall easily into the realm of illusion and things that don't really lead us anywhere.